We're learning more about the shooting that left 2 people dead at a home in Loveland yesterday and the suspect dead 30 miles away in Erie.
Several neighborhoods were put under shelter-in-place orders for hours. 9 News reporter Luis De Leon breaks down how police say they responded.
Loveland police say this all started Thursday afternoon. A 911 call came from a 12-year-old inside this home on Pavo Court saying their mother had been shot. A 14-year-old also called saying there had been a shooting. The first officers got to the home a few minutes later and found a 16-year-old who had been shot. Officers started trying to save that teen's life. Meanwhile, a 2-year-old was safely rescued from the backyard of the home by officers. A 5-year-old was saved inside the home, as well as a 12-year-old who had initially called police. The 12-year-old was hiding in a bedroom closet. SWAT and patrol officers found a 41-year-old woman dead inside the home, but did not find the suspect, who we now know is 49-year-old Javier Acevedo. That brings us to a neighborhood in Erie, 30 miles away, where Acevedo's phone signal was tracked. Around the same time, someone in the area spotted Acevedo carrying a long gun and told police. The area was put under shelter-in-place orders. Denver police located Acevedo from the air, and at 5:13, police say Acevedo took his own life. We now know Acevedo should have never been anywhere near that home in Loveland or those who lived there because of protection and restraining orders. Acevedo was supposed to be arraigned on sexual assault charges next month. Friends have told us who the victims in this case are, but we are choosing not to say who they are because family members have not identified them, nor have officials. We were by the home in Loveland this afternoon. Flowers and pictures were already placed in front of that home.
Type of stories we don't like to report.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping us posted on the details of this one, Luis.
A student from Broomfield High School died and 3 others were hospitalized after a car crash last night. It happened around 7 o'clock on Highway 287 at Dillon Road. Lafayette police say 5 teenagers were in the car headed south on 287 when it collided with a semi going east on Dillon. All 5 teenagers were taken to the hospital and 1 didn't make it. 3 teenagers are still in the hospital. Police say they're looking into whether alcohol or distracted driving contributed to the crash. The Boulder Valley School District is offering counseling services at Broomfield High School.
The father of the man killed in a police shooting in Englewood Sunday says his son wanted to get a degree in education. He shared photos of his 22-year-old son, Matthew Mitchell. Englewood police still haven't said anything about exactly how Mitchell died. It's one of the many questions his family has after the shooting this past weekend. Today, Mitchell's brother, Philip Blankenship, appeared in court for the first time. He's accused of shooting at police. Officers fired back. Mitchell was killed. In today's hearing, Blankenship's lawyer asked the judge for a gag order. The judge granted that this afternoon. The defense also objected to releasing the body cam footage, but there's no word on whether the judge will be approving that request. Now, the gag order only prevents law enforcement and lawyers from speaking about the case. Now, 5 days after the shooting, Englewood's mayor says the gag order prevents him from talking. For a few days, we've asked him for an interview. Instead, he released a statement. It says, "We are all saddened that a life was lost, a family is grieving, and Englewood officers have been traumatized by this tragic event." He goes on to say, quote, "It is our hope that our entire community can move forward and recover from the devastating impacts of that day."
The Polis administration is defending Colorado's emergency management chief, who was suspended briefly for unprofessional and threatening behavior toward his coworkers. Mike Willis was punished for violating Colorado's workplace violence prevention and response policy. He's now being defended at multiple levels of the Polis administration, but the governor himself will not answer our questions.
Colorado's emergency management chief Mike Willis was berating a female coworker so loudly that a warehouse camera caught other people looking in the direction of the noise. The woman said that incident came closer to becoming physical than anything she ever experienced while working for the Department of Corrections. An internal report shows Willis was suspended for a pattern of inappropriate behavior that must be corrected. Willis's history of abusive, threatening behavior, first reported by the Denver Post, was outlined in a workplace violence, conduct, and ethics complaint, where Colorado's Director of Safety, Stan Hilke, said Willis's behavior put the state at legal risk. Hilke is now part of a parade of Polis administration officials defending Willis, telling us, quote, "He has worked to change his workplace demeanor. Willis's boss, Kevin Klein, director of the Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, blamed their dynamic, high-pressure, high-impact, time-sensitive environment. The Polis administration even offered us an unsolicited endorsement of Willis from a fellow National Guard leader, Army Brigadier General Laura Cleland, who said she had total trust and confidence in his ability.
Willis issued a statement to us saying that he takes responsibility for quote-unquote missteps and that he's been held accountable. We asked Democratic Governor Jared Polis's office when the governor became aware that his emergency management chief had a history of abusive behavior, and also what, if anything, the governor planned to do about it now. We were directed to a statement from the governor's chief of staff, which said that they trust their agency leaders to handle personnel issues.
After an initial rollout, slow one, this week, the federal government said it will make available 786,000 doses of the monkeypox vaccine in the U.S. Colorado health officials now report a total of 68 cases in our state. The state's website says vaccines are so limited you can't even make an appointment to get one right now. CSU professor has been studying pox viruses in animals for years. She offers a different perspective on this human outbreak. Here's 9 News reporter Jennifer Meckles.
So monkeypox virus was named monkeypox virus because it was first isolated and found in monkeys, but we actually don't think that that's the reservoir. We think the reservoir of the virus are some squirrels and probably rodents.
That's Dr. Amy McNeil, a veterinary pathologist who studies and teaches about pox viruses at CSU's College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences.
So monkeys like us are kind of just the spillover species that monkeypox is really good at causing disease in.
Monkeypox, endemic in parts of Africa, is part of the orthopox family, a family that also includes smallpox, eradicated decades ago thanks to vaccines.
General immunity has completely basically waned. We are now seeing emergence of these other orthopox viruses in the human population.
Like any virus, monkeypox could evolve over time. But Dr. McNeil says this outbreak is different than COVID.
So it's not emerging like COVID did, where it's changed its genome and now it's a new thing. It's been around for a long time.
Transmission happens between close contact, between humans, even between humans and other animals.
It's for so long been only endemic in species in Africa. Now I think there's quite a high chance that it might become endemic in the US or Europe.
We know that monkeypox can affect anyone. The majority of the cases in this outbreak right now have been concentrated among men who have sex with men, and that is the population targeted for the very limited number of vaccines that have been so far available. Something kind of interesting from our conversation is that once smallpox was eradicated in the U.S. back in the 70s and the 80s, the FDA said that routine vaccinations in our country stopped. So now here we have a generation or two later, a lot of people have no immunity to these pox viruses, where once upon a time they did. It's kind of interesting as you consider what's going on right now.
Yeah. And now you have a new layer of vaccine hesitancy and skepticism in this country,
right?
Having just come through the pandemic.
Right,
One
exactly.
more challenge.
And an understanding about what immunity is, what it looks like, how to get it. Yeah, and to your point, hesitancy around vaccines. So.
Interesting perspective. Jenny, thank you.
I'd never seen anybody wheelie a Harley Davidson like that.
Oh, almost 50 years to the day, an American icon made his jump across Castle Rock.
A group is creating a new opportunity for young Coloradans to talk about their mental health struggles.
He started as a Bronco, and now he's finishing his career as one, but not before getting a standing ovation from Broncos country.